We're live now?
It's still loading. I'll let you guys as soon as we're live. Loading, still loading. And we are live. All right, we are live. Let me just pause that. Got it. Our recording. All righty. And give me 1 second. Let me just pull up. What's up, everybody? I know you guys are watching right now. Just give me 1 second. We're starting. All right. Give me 1 second. Just making sure that live is on. People can see it on my channel. Yeah. All right, cool. All right, I can see it on my channel. Everything's good to go. All right. And I just want to do one more sound check on my sound effects. Ladies, can you hear this? Let me see. Get the text. All right. Here, let me just pull that off. And ladies, you ready?
Yeah, all good.
Ready? All right. All right, 3, 2, 1. What's up, everybody? We are live. What's up, everybody? Welcome to the episode of the Gava Cloud Podcast After Dark Session. You guys already know who I am, the host of the show. My name is william-nacouzi. Please, if you love the content, love the show, please like and subscribe to this channel. Thank you so much for all the support you guys always show me, all the love you guys show me every single weekend. And also, don't forget to subscribe to my channel to check out all the previous episodes that we've done in the past, where we have conversations and a lot of great debates and conversations between modern day dating. But nevertheless, I'm excited tonight, y'all. We have a great show for you guys. We have some beautiful guests joining us tonight, a beautiful cast tonight.
I can help you out.
Yeah.
I can help you out. I can help you out.
Oh, yeah. We got a beautiful cast, Palestinian, Hispanic cast tonight, and hopefully they can help you out on your dating struggles tonight. So nevertheless, before we start the show, we have to let everybody know this is for mature and adult audiences only, 18 plus. So you guys already know what time it is. You guys already know what time it is. So if you're under the age of 18, I need you to go put yourself to bed right now. You guys already know what time it is for mature and adult audiences only. You know what that sound meant. It's time to turn those lights down low. But nevertheless, that's why it's called the After Dark session. We have real, unfiltered, and raw conversations about dating, sex, and relationships, Monday, day 2021. So hopefully today and tonight, you can find out why you're still single. I know the struggle is real, but nevertheless, thank you so much for tuning in. But before we start the show, you guys already know, I think you always like to play a little theme song real quick, get the vibes going and get everybody loose, because we're gonna have some great conversations tonight with the beautiful ladies who are joining us on the podcast. So I'm gonna go ahead and play the theme song real quick, get started, get everybody tuned in, and we'll start the show. Let's get it, y'all. Okay. Tune in, y'all. Okay. All right. All right. I hope everybody's loose. Hope everybody's ready for a great show tonight. But before we start the show real quick, you guys already know, I know a lot of people will watch this live, and you guys already know about the chat, that we have a live chat on the show. So don't forget to share your thoughts, drop a comment below. Let me know what you guys think about everything we discussed. I would definitely love to hear your feedback. And also the super chat, if you want to send a donation to my podcast, and send me a donation directly to me. If you love my content, love my channel, love what I do, and want to help me get my studio one day and also make better quality content, all donations, I will always reinvest back into my business because I do find a lot of joy making sure to give you guys the best quality content I can give you guys. So thank you so much. And of course, if you do drop a super chat, I'll definitely make sure I read it out loud and also read who it came from. So make sure you give you that credit and also show you some love as well. So thank you so much for watching, tuning in. But I guess we'll start the show. We have some beautiful cast tonight, and we'll let the ladies introduce themselves real quick. So ladies, I hope you guys ready. Hope you got your questions. A lot of people have been tuning in. They want to know, they want to find out. But before we start the show and start the questions, can you go ahead and introduce yourselves real quick? Just your name, your age, what do you do, and also what is your relationship status? Anika, you go ahead and introduce yourself real quick.
Okay, my name is Annika. I'm 21 years old, and I am currently in a relationship, been in a long-term relationship.
All right, no worries. And what do you do?
I'm a trainer.
You're a trainer. Yeah.
Trainer.
All right, she's a health trainer. Y'all got to definitely check out her page. She got those gains, y'all. She got those gains. I want to grow up to be Anika one day.
Oh, bro.
So, and she doesn't skip leg day. I checked that. Double check that. She doesn't skip no leg days.
You can't.
All right, thank you, Anika. All right, and last but not least, Lena, go ahead, introduce yourself.
Hi, everyone. My name is Lena. I'm 22 years old. I am an engineer, and I'm currently single.
All right, nice. Engineer.
Just got out of a long-term relationship.
Oh, wow.
All right. Well, thank you, Lena. Thank you, Anika. Thank you for joining. And thank you for everybody tuning in and watching this show. And I guess, like I said, without further ado, let's get right into it. So, ladies, I hope you guys are ready. I got a nice hot topic question for you guys to start off the show. We're not gonna warm up. We're just gonna go right into it. All right. So I know on my podcast, one of the things I've noticed on my podcast is one of the things I've noticed is the confusion between men and women of women not understanding what men want and also men not understanding what women want. And that's the beauty of these conversations that we can hear both sides, right? But so the first question I want to ask you guys, ladies, is what do you guys think men want in women if they're going to take it seriously and if they want to wife you up? So you guys already know it's modern dating. There's casual, everybody's into casual sex. Nobody's looking for a commitment no more, but there are specific things like somebody that does want to take you seriously, somebody who does want to wife you up. I know this already, but I'm interested to hear this. What do men look for? I'm just very interested because a lot of times in my podcast in the past, I'll ask ladies, and what do men look for if they want to wife you up, if they want to take you seriously? And sometimes it's interesting to hear what they say because it's kind of opposite of what men really want. So, but I'm interested to hear from you ladies, from you guys. Yes, that's the question I want to ask you guys. What do you think men look for in women if they're going to take you seriously, if they're going to give you full commitment, and especially if they're going to put a ring on that finger, if they're going to wife you up and commit to you long term? And that's the question I want to start off with. And I'll start with you. Go ahead, Lena. Take it away.
Okay. Let's see. So I would say the thing that men probably look for in a relationship when they're going long term is assuming they have a healthy relationship with their mom, I feel they look for the qualities that their mom has. So whatever they grew up with, that type of nurturing environment, that's what they seek. They want to know that there's a place where they can be vulnerable and be comfortable. So kind of like that motherly love, nurturing, caring, kind, soft, gentle. I feel like that's something that a lot of men look for, because when they're in public, society kind of tells men that they can be tough. And so they want a place where they don't have to have that persona, where they can just let loose. And so I think that like soft and gentle personality is what a lot of men look for. And I think that's it. That soft personality also leads to a woman that's forgiving and kind, which leads to a long-lasting relationship, because when he does make mistakes, you have someone that's understanding and can forgive and then can build from that. So that's the short version of my answer. And I think someone that doesn't have a healthy relationship with their mom, that's when toxicity comes in.
Okay, all right. So I got nurturing, that feminine figure, which is his mom. That's always a man's first feminine figure in his life. His mom, kind, forgiving. Anything you want to add on to it? Add on to that? Things that you might think that men are looking for, or men are not attracted, or men are repulsed by if women do these certain behaviors. They don't, that may retract
Um,
them from taking them seriously.
and then I mean, I kind of talked about it from like the non-physical side, but on the physical side, I think men really appreciate women that, you know, take care of themselves. Obviously,
Sure.
just something that maintains that physical attractiveness.
Mm-hmm.
Um, yeah, yeah, just generally like that. A woman, she doesn't necessarily have to fit in a certain box, because I've seen a lot of guys marry actually the girl that's not their type, but they just have to be confident in their attributes, whatever they have. If they're confident in it and they know how to work it, then
Mm-hmm.
that you don't have to have a specific type to
All
be good.
right. Okay. So women that take care of themselves, you know. Okay. Okay, no worries. So yeah, I got all that down. Anything else? Anything else?
No, that's it
Oh,
for me.
all right. All right. All right. Cool, cool. All right. That's a good list. All right. So same question, Anika. What do you think men are looking for in women to take them seriously, for to fully commit to them, and also wife them up one day?
Um, so first of all, Lena, yours was super deep, and so me going second, it's like following up really hard. But I would say like compromise, and that wouldn't have been in years before. That wouldn't have been my first answer at all.
Mhm.
But watching or like being in a relationship, or and just being like in friendships in general, there's a lot of like, hey, I'm super clean, but if you don't do this, then I can't freak out about it because to you, it's not a big deal. Or like, hey, um, I don't necessarily, love the whole like going out to a bar, but I trust you. And that's a compromise because of like the trust we've built. So, go ahead and do that because you trust me to do the same. And I think that's been built on not only trust but that compromise to like understand that we value different things but our
Mhm.
overall values are the same, so the compromise kind of like evens out because there's never one person in the relationship that goes over
Mhm.
because we respect each other's like overall values. So
Mhm.
I'd say like compromise for sure, being able to
Okay.
be flexible.
All right. Anything else? All right. So compromise. Anything else? What do we know? You think that
um
that's it?
yeah
What are the if so? Okay. Anything else you want to add to it? Like,
um
anything else besides what Lena already shared? Like anything else that you see in men today? Like if they know if a woman's behaving this certain way, they're like, nah, I'm not wifing
I
that.
don't know. It's kind of difficult because you hear different things on the media of like girls being confident and girls being like
Ooh.
these really confident girls. And there's either guys that can handle it, that love it, that are attracted to it because they're like, cool, I'm not going to have to be worried about if she wants to spend time with me because she's not going to want to because we're both going to be starting our own businesses. You know what I mean? But then there's other people, like other guys who are still stuck in what Lena was saying, like that they feel like they have to be masculine outside of the house. So they're
Mm-hmm.
still stuck in that like masculine energy. And when they feel like someone else is they feel like someone else is threatening that, then they might be deterred. So I would say it's like hit or miss with the confidence of females.
So
Yeah,
you saying, okay,
I have
go ahead, go ahead, Lena.
yeah, on that. Yes, 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 yes. That is so true. Okay, so I said confidence, but there are some guys that take confidence. When a woman walks into a room and every guy is like, eyes are automatically on her, right? Because she walks into the room and she owns it. And there's some guys that are out there and they're like, yeah, like that's my girl, She can have anyone in this room, but she chose me. And that's their confidence. There's other guys that are like, she can have everyone in this room and she chose me, like, and that's their insecurity. So
Okay.
it's so I think that's like a really big thing is that like she said, it depends on the type of guy. If he can handle that confidence is really, really important.
Okay.
So
All
I
right.
just
So confidence in women. All right. So that's why guys are looking for the wife of a confident woman. And And you said something about, I just want to make sure I have it clear. So Nika, you said something about masculine energy. That
Yeah.
Can you elaborate on that? What do you mean by that?
Yeah, so there's actually different types. If like either of you are into like spirituality, there's different types of energies. So like masculine and feminine energy.
Of course.
And masculine energy being like that logical, get it done side. And that's like the productive side, which is good. But there needs to be balance in humans. So like there needs to be that logical, get work done, productive side, but there also needs to be that creative side. But unfortunately, most men don't elaborate and they don't express that feminine side because it's wrong. So that's what I meant.
Okay, no worries. All right. So anything else you want to add to that, Anika?
No, that's it.
Okay. All right. So okay, ladies. All right. So I love everything you guys said, but are you guys ready to hear the truth of what men really look for?
Like, let me know.
All right. Yeah, because that's it's just interesting for me. That's why I love this podcast. It's just and that's one of the things I've just noticed in today's dating culture today is a misunderstanding between men and women that a lot of men don't know what women want, and also a lot of women out there I've seen they don't understand what men are looking for. But I would say this. I would say that Lena, everything you said about the feminine figure, that's one of the things I always tell ladies all the time, that men are always looking for a feminine woman, nurturing, caring, loving, right? And especially a guy that's very masculine, or a guy that's very confident in himself. It's just we're always looking for the traits that complement us, right? So if I'm a very strong, confident, ambitious man, I'm looking for traits that complement me. I'm not looking for the same traits I already have, because I already bring that to the table, if that makes sense to you guys. And this is something I always have to explain to ladies. If I'm a confident, strong, ambitious man, I'm not looking to bring the same thing I'm not looking at that from a partner. I'm looking for something that complement me. Like I think Lena said, if I'm looking for that vulnerability, I'm looking for that softness, because I'm already strong as a man. So it just complements it. If I'm already headstrong, I'm not looking for somebody that's headstrong and ambitious. And so feminine is one of the top things that men look for. A lot of men like a feminine woman, nurturing, caring, the mother figure in his life, the kindness. I would say the taking care of themselves. Of course, you guys know guys like a woman who has a nice body and take care of themselves. As long as you take care of themselves, because one of the things that men do care about is because we are more visual. Like we care about a woman's beauty. We like a beautiful woman. So depending on the guy, whatever, as long as he's attracted to you, but taking care of yourself does help. Does help in your chance of attracting a guy. So sometimes I tell ladies all the time, and I'm just keeping it real with them. I do see a lot of ladies not taking care of themselves. Just getting getting overweight or just getting obese. And I always tell them that can be a reason. That can be a reason why guys are not attracted to you, because guys, we do care about how our woman looks, and we want to be with a beautiful one, depending on what they're looking for. Every guy wants to be attracted to their woman. And then the one thing I did find, I love what you guys said, confidence, right? So I think one of the biggest mistakes a lot of women, they don't know the difference between confident and being masculine, if that makes sense. Because I like a confident woman. I like a woman that speaks her mind. I like a woman who has her own opinion. I love a very intellectual woman that can challenge me mentally, intellectually. But there's a difference between confident and acting like a man, if you guys know what I'm talking about. Because I know a lot of women who are confident, but they're still feminine, if that makes sense, right? They're still feminine. They still have the nurturing, caring, and gentle side. But I know today, because a lot of women today are very career-oriented, they have to pursue their goals and dreams. But in order to pursue your goals and dreams and compete with men in the workplace, you have to become a man yourself. You have to be very masculine yourself to compete in the workplace, depending on your industry, right? So I do notice that a lot of women today, they are very masculine. They do act like a man or betray that man or have that man attitude. And for a lot of guys, they're not attracted, especially if it's a masculine guy. He's not attracted to a woman that acts like a guy. Like, I don't want to be talking to another guy in a relationship. I feel like I'm talking to another dude. I want to talk to another woman. All right, I want to feel your femininity. I want to feel your softness, your gentleness, your kindness. So a lot of women don't know the difference because I've heard. I don't know if you heard that term. I'm sure you've heard it. Strong, independent women, right? So there's a lot of the strong, independent women. It's like I don't need a man. I don't need no man. I can do everything by myself. And I always tell ladies, well, if you have that attitude that you don't need a man, then a man's like, if you don't need me, okay. Or if you don't need me in your life, I'm gonna go to the feminine woman that's saying, hey, I'm looking for a man. So it's if you have the attitude, like I said, I love confident women, but if you have the attitude, like I don't need you. And have you heard that term? I don't need a man. It's all over social media. Usually the girls that there's a lot, they're just broken up or they're still hurt from the previous relationship. But yeah, I've heard that I have friends like that, and I've heard that from a lot of women. Like, I don't need a man. I'm independent. I don't need. I can do everything on my own. And for a man, that's like, it's not unattractive because like you're talking like a man. So they're always looking for a feminine woman. The one thing I always tell ladies out there, we shouldn't be pushing for independence. We should be pushing for interdependence. Interdependence is relying on one another, right? Because that's what relationships are. As a man, like we want to rely on a woman. As a woman, you guys want to rely on me. We shouldn't be. You shouldn't go into a relationship. Hey, I don't need you. Because pretty much that's what you're saying. If I'm independent, I don't need you. Like, ladies, how would you guys feel if a man came up to you and was like, hey, let's be in a relationship. I don't need you though. I don't need you.
Well, I feel like maybe the way they say it might be not the best, but I disagree with what you said because
Go ahead.
I think that being able to do things on your own is important, and having that interdependence is good, but sometimes people take it way too far and it becomes toxic because that interdependence is like, well, I need you here so you can't go out type of thing, or I need you here, and there just becomes like so much toxicity that interdependence is now like that. It's just bad. Like that person isn't their own person anymore. They're literally, not literally, but they might as well be like attached to that person since there's like they can't do anything on their own. They don't feel like they can.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Go ahead, Lena.
Yeah, I definitely agree with her in that. I kind of disagree with that because I think there's something much better that comes from a relationship where, I mean, you guys are not necessarily telling each other I don't need you, but it's kind of like a known fact. Like, I was okay before you. I'm better with you, obviously, but I'd be okay without you. Like, knowing that, yeah, we don't need each other, but we want each other. Like, it builds a different type of relationship. That means that like this is not something we have to do. It's something we want to do. We're working towards this because we have that same goal. And when a woman is independent, she starts to the type of man that she wants kind of narrows down to people, like you said, the complementary type of guy. Instead, when you have someone that's really feminine and doesn't really have a life outside of a relationship, she starts to settle, I think, for just someone that would give her. You have so many girls just begging for the bare minimum sometimes. So I think when she does have her own life, she can have masculine energy when she's in a job, but that doesn't mean that it doesn't have to follow her in the home. I mean, I'm speaking as an engineer because when I go, I think I'm one of like 3 females in my office. So I do have to, assert some type of masculine energy when I'm around these guys.
You have to.
Yeah, but when I'm with my partner, I would never talk to him the way that I talk to them. I talk to him, much softer. It's a different type of person. Obviously, you talk to a kid much different than you talk to your parent. So I think it's totally fine for a woman to be masculine in the career, outside her home, or whatever it is, and even sometimes to her man. If he's acting a certain way and she has to like level out the field, it's perfectly fine. But so I just had a comment that
No.
Because I say I don't need a man a lot.
No, I totally understand. Like, and you broke it down perfectly, Lena. Like I said, for women, I want you guys. I have no problem with women going out there and be successful. That's the whole purpose of why you guys were able to get the opportunities. When we change all those laws, so you guys have the same opportunities that we have now. But I always tell ladies on my podcast, like, you have to switch that role and that hat. When you're at the workplace, be masculine, be dominant, kill it, go be the best woman you can be, start your business, be successful in a career. But the one thing they don't understand is that doesn't work when it comes to a relationship with a man. You have to learn to switch that role and go back into your femininity as a woman, because at the end of the day, that's what men are always looking for. They're looking for that femininity. And Lena said it best. The first person that they got the love from was from their mom. So their mom. So they always looking for, like, I think women do the same thing. The first a man in your life was your father. So you always look guys that have the similar traits, and the type of love that your father showed you, that's the love that you always seek from the men in your life. And the same thing from men as well. Of course, as they had a healthy relationship with your mom, they're always looking for that kindness and that softness. So you could be dominant in the workplace, but a lot of times I see a lot of modern women today, they don't know how to turn that switch. So they come home with that dominant attitude and that energy to their husband, and that's caused a lot of conflicts, right? And I mentioned you guys before, like, especially if you're talking about very masculine man, a guy that's already confident in himself, dominant, ambitious, he's already in tune with his masculinity. So if you come home and be masculine yourself or act like a man yourself, when he's looking for that woman, that nurturing care and the kindness from a woman, but you're acting like a man, that can cause a lot of issues in relationships. And there are studies that show, I don't know if you guys look into those type of studies, there are studies that show that the women today in America that are the highest rate of women today in America that are single, the demographic is women that are career-oriented women that make a lot of money. So the more money a woman makes, over 30, between 30 and 45, the women who are very career-oriented over the age of 30, 45, and earn a higher income, they struggle. Those are the type of women right now in America, they either don't get married, or they end up getting married and get divorced later, and they're single because like I said, they're very masculine, because they have to be in their workplace. They just haven't learned how to tap into their femininity and be feminine for their man. Anything else you guys want to add to that? Respond to what I said?
So I feel like, I've seen those studies, and I know a lot of it is because women for the longest time didn't have the opportunity to work. And so now that they do, they really don't want anything in their way. But I also think that men are so like insecure about being like a housewife or like a house husband, that if the wife does make more money, like as a generalization, if the wife does make more money, then they're not having it. Like they'd rather not be in the relationship than be the house husband. But the other way, like, which it kind of explains why women that are rich don't have a partner, because no man wants to make less than their wife. But the other way around, like, women are, for the most part, like, women have been okay with being a housewife. There's like jokes about it on TikTok. They're like, yeah, practicing to be a housewife, And so like, I think that being able to turn it off and on isn't like the reason that they're single. I think the reason that they're single is because if they do make more money, they're either so focused on it they don't care about a man, or they haven't found a man that's so secure about his masculinity that he doesn't care that he's like not making as much money, basically.
Okay. All right, Lena, do you only want to respond?
Yeah, and this is kind of a combination of what you two said. So Will, you said that when a guy is ambitious, a go-getter, and he has the masculine energy, right? He doesn't want that same thing necessarily. Kind of like opposites attract. Like, he wants somewhere where he could be vulnerable, right? So obviously he's not going to match up with someone who's also like masculine energy and ambitious.
Yeah.
Like, or at least doesn't know how to turn it off. If they both don't know how to kind of switch that off, then they won't work out. Then in general, the people that do make more money and have a better career oriented, are those masculine energy people, correct? So when you have a female up here, she's probably prone to have more masculine energy because she's making more money. But then she also in her mind knows that she, like, society kind of gives like your rank based on your job. So she thinks that, okay, this is my rank because I make 6 figures. So I either need a man equal to me or above, right? I feel like a lot of women, that's how they think. And she's not going to find anyone that complements her in that criteria. So like when you have a woman that does, like, say, a job that's like a teacher or something like that, and her pay is here, and so she's looking for some guy above that. Her job kind of nurtures feminine energy. She's can easily find anyone with masculine energy to complement her, but a female that's masculine will not generally won't find a feminine type guy making more than her.
Yes.
And so I think that's where the issue is. So she either has to settle for either someone that's masculine and makes less than her, and that's probably going to create a rise of insecurity and toxicity in the relationship. She's going to feel like she's better than him because she makes more. He's going to feel insecure because he makes less, blah, blah. Or she lives her best life single. And so I think in addition to that study, compare the happiness levels of those people. And I think probably those rich single women are probably the happiest females out there.
No? All right, okay, no worries. I do have a couple of responses to a lot of things that you guys said. The first thing would be with the women. I think Anika said that the women who make a lot of money. The one thing you said that for men, they don't want to be with the woman that makes a lot of money because it's insecurity, because he don't want to, because he might feel like he makes less, so he might feel insecure being with that woman. That's what you said, right? All right, so that's the one thing I always have to break it down for a lot of women. It's not a lack of insecurity of why a guy doesn't want to be with a woman who makes more money. First of all, like number one, if a girl makes more money than a man, he won't even look his way. The more money a woman makes, she just only wants to date a guy that makes out of the same level of type of income or more. Mm-hmm. All right. You guys ever heard of the term like hypergamy? Anika, you heard of it? Have you heard of Lena?
I haven't.
So hypergamy is like it's like the study they did of understanding women behavior is for women when it comes to what they look for in a partner, they're always looking for a partner with a similar social or economic status or higher. Most women will not want to date a guy or marry a guy that's lower in her social economic status, depending on where she's at. So women, especially on this podcast, there's also studies on it, but also based on all the girls I've talked to on this podcast, whenever I ask them what type of man they want, most women want a guy that's superior than her. They want a strong guy. They want a guy that's taller. They want a guy that's making either similar, making more money. They want a guy that's doing better than her, that she can look up to as a leader. She wants a guy that's ambitious, that's strong, that's confident. So you're always looking for either your equal or a man that's superior than you. So the problem with a lot of women they don't understand is the more money they make, they're only looking for a guy with the same socioeconomic status as her. So I think one of you guys brought up the 6 figures. So if you're a woman making 6 figures, only about 20% of people, I think 10 to 20% of people in America makes over six figures. So that means your dating pool is only 20% because you're not willing to date any guy less than $100,000, and you want a guy that's making the same amount of income. But the problem with that for a lot of women don't understand is men, like I told you guys before, like we don't care about how much money a woman makes. We don't look for her. We don't care about your ability to provide and protect and take care of me. Because as men, that's our role. Like we feel comfortable taking care of you. So we don't care about your degrees. We don't care about how much money you make. We're always looking into your femininity. But the number one thing that we look in a woman is like we could care less about how much money you make. We just want to make sure that we look at your like, is she beautiful? Is she fertile? Can I have kids with this lady? Is she nurturing? Is she caring? Is this the type of woman that I want that can raise my kids? Is she attractive enough for me that I would want to have sex with her? She's not a whole, she's not promiscuous. She's not a whole going out there and sleeping with a man. That's all men care about when it comes to selecting their partner. So how much money you make has we don't even look into, we don't care about that. But for women, it's opposite. You guys care about how much a guy's ability, his potential to support and financially take care of you. But for men, that's one of the things I have to explain to women, especially the women who are very successful, because they're like, I'm very successful. How come men are not attracted to me? I always tell them, because we don't care about your socioeconomic status, because that's not what we look for. We just care about your femininity. Are you attractive? Are you nurturing, caring? Are you can I have kids with you? You're the type of woman that's gentle, that's kind, that we can be compatible with, we can have a great relationship with, and also you can be a great example to my kids, and if I choose to procreate with you. So I always tell women that like we do not care about how much money you make. Like it doesn't matter to me, whatever she makes. That's why you can see. You've seen a lot of times, like a lot of successful men. You've seen a lot of successful men. They'll go to they'll marry a girl from like Starbucks. You see this all the time. They'll a millionaire, a guy that's a millionaire. He'll marry a guy just the average girl, because as long as she's beautiful to him, he'll marry her. but you will never see a millionaire marry a guy from Starbucks. A woman who's a millionaire. A woman that's a millionaire, you will never see her go to Starbucks and meet a guy and marry her. Like you never see it. A man can marry a broke girl as long as she's beautiful as him, but a woman can never marry a broke guy. What are your thoughts? What do you guys think? I know there was a lot there to process, but what do you guys think?
I don't want to agree, but I think I agree. Like my feminist is telling me no, don't agree to that. But I like based on trends that I've seen, yeah, I kind of agree that women kind of hold more of a power of I make this much than guys do. Because it's like guys are expected to, right? Guys are expected.
That's what we do. Yeah.
And so for us females, like especially a female that has all of like good female qualities, and she has a career, like we think we're the whole package plus a bag of M&Ms, you know? So like that raises our self-worth. I think like, and which is really good for ourselves. But so the monetary value for a guy, like that's basically included in the default package. So them making more money, like, yeah, it's good and whatever, but they were already expected to do that. So that like that doesn't add the bag of M&Ms for them. That's just like I'm doing what I do, right? So that's why like they're fine with marrying that girl from Starbucks, right? And they probably actually look for that because they're like, oh, she needs help. She probably needs help with money and I have money, like good match, right? But that female is like, I have that little bit of extra, you know? So I want someone else with something extra too, because it's not fair if I'm giving you all of this and my M&Ms and like you're not giving me anything back. Like if I give you a gift, I want a gift back. So I think that's what it is that we just see it as something more. And because of that, we just want what we give. And so, yeah, that's what I think. That's what I think.
Anika?
Yeah, so I don't know, maybe it's like cultural differences, but even then, like being Hispanic, most of my abuelitas are the caretakers. So maybe it was just like me growing up, but my mom, like, even though she didn't have to work, she always worked because she was like, if shit hits the fan, I have it. Like, I don't need your dad. I don't need his money. I have my own thing. And so I like grew up feeling that way. Like, I've been sick and I didn't let my boyfriend do anything. I was like, I'm taking care of my own. Like, I will drive to the store with 3 masks on. I don't care. Like, you're not doing it for me. And I think that might have been a little different than like culturally what we've been taught, because so I kind of did like a YouTube video on this because I talked about like the male supremacy or the male like superiority, because they've constantly been told for like hundreds of years that they're good enough. They've constantly been told like, yeah, you're the provider. You make all the money. You're good. You're hot shit, right? But women haven't. And so when Lena was saying like that extra like M&Ms on the side, like because they have that like extra part of their like the package, I think that's like something that they don't want to let go of, and they want to find someone like either equal or above. And the men aren't the other way. Like the men are cool with marrying someone from Starbucks or whatever, is because they've been told that they're the caretakers. Like they have been told that. No one has told them, hey, you can stay home and watch kids. Hey, you can do laundry and you can do this too. So like men marrying someone from Starbucks but girls not being the other way around, I think that is like a very societal thing. I think that doesn't have to be the case, but because men forever have been told that they're the shit, women were like literally couldn't vote, and now women in Saudi Arabia were just given the right to drive. Like we're not gonna let that go. So I think that like extra, men being okay with that, I think that is something that the media has programmed, but that's just my opinion.
No worries. I would. Oh, Lena, you want to go ahead, Lena. Go ahead.
Yeah. Dang, I just totally realized something talking about this. So this was one of the biggest issues with my previous relationship. And this was actually the last thing that kind of ended it when she brought up being sick. And I'm the exact same way when I'm sick. I really don't like to have guys do things for me. And it's not because that, oh, I can do it myself. Oh, I'm a strong woman. It's not that. It's like, I just don't like to be a burden sometimes. I hate asking for things. And that's a culture thing. I'm Palestinian. We never ask for things. Like if someone, like if you're at someone's house and they offer you anything like a juice, like you have to say no at least 3 times or something like that. And, but the culture is that the person that's offering it keeps persisting, take it, take it, take it. And then like the 4th or 5th time, you're like, okay, fine. So, I mean, that's how I am. Like, I will never, ever tell someone, hey, can you drop me off something? Like, go out of your way and drop this off. Like, that's so cringe to me. And so in my last relationship, it actually came down to literally a doctor's appointment. He said that he wanted to take me to a doctor's appointment, and I was saying, you know, due to COVID and stuff like that, I don't even think you could come into the hospital. Like, I probably have to go in by myself. He said, even if it's by yourself, I want to drive you there. And I said, okay, that's fine. And we planned to go together at noon, but they called me. They told me they had an earlier appointment available at 8 in the morning, and he was still asleep. And so I thought it wasn't any big deal. I went and did my doctor's appointment by myself. It wasn't a big deal. But he was so hurt by it. He was so hurt. And it's crazy to say this out loud, but that's what ended it, because he thought that I was selfish to go without him. And for me, that's like, it was crazy to me. But I think you really opened my eyes to that his masculinity was probably threatened by it. You know, I think a reason why we kind of ended was we were both too masculine. We were both taking care of ourselves and trying to take care of the other, and it was just overload. So I don't know, you really just opened my eyes to that. I thought like, oh my god, he's crazy, like how am I selfish for taking myself to the doctors? But I don't know, that's really interesting. I feel like maybe I'm just masculine and my job.
I mean, if you're in engineering, that's one of the, that's a STEM field, right? Yeah. That's one of the most STEM fields are dominated by men.
Oh, yeah.
So you have to be masculine. You know, if any woman that tells me they're part of the STEM field, I know it for a fact that you have to be masculine to be able to not only be in contention with other men out there, but also be able to compete with them. So, but go ahead.
Like even your way of thinking, like as an engineer, like my boyfriend and I got in a fight the other day because he needed a list, like to clean. He needed an actual list of like step by step how to do everything. And I was like, why? Right? But seeing like, if you're an engineer as a woman, that's rare because women don't think like that. And so like the way you think is different from a lot of females. So like that didn't seem like a big deal to you, but like for like a guy who is not logical, who doesn't think, oh, I was asleep, that's cool, yeah, she drove herself, like that's logical, that makes sense. So he was thinking more emotional than you were.
Exactly. Like for me, it made sense. I'm like, okay, I get like my afternoon free, you're sleeping, so I'm not gonna wake you up, like, and so, and you're right, like my thinking is very logical. I've been programmed that way, and combining that with my culture of, oh, we don't ask for things. Like I would have rather died than call him and been like, hey, wake up now, take me to the doctor, when I'm full and capable, I have a car full of gas right outside, so yeah, it's a combination of that. Like I thought of it logically, he thought of it emotionally, and it just didn't work out.
Yeah. Also, Anika, I would respond to something you said. You said that for men, providing and protecting is something that we've been taught throughout history, throughout society. Is that what you said? So that's one of the things I do hear from a lot of women, like, why can't men just stay at home and take care of the kids and be okay with that? And this, you've been taught that boys should be boys. And this is one of the things I always tell them. It's like providing and protecting is not something we're taught. It's a biological thing. It's innate within us as men to feel like the way we provide and protect. And there are studies out there. I mean, the perfect example I would use, like, you want to take it back all the way to the caveman days, right? The caveman days before social construct, before society, when we just acted on our primitive nature, right? What did the men do? back in the caveman days?
So that actually, like, that was going to be my argument.
What did but what did the men do? Like, what did the men do?
They hunted, but
hunted, right? It's like nobody taught us to hunt. There was no social construct. There was no society. There was no hierarchy. It's just, as men, there's a reason. There's something called biological differences, or like sexual dimorphism. Is that there's a reason why we're different. There's a reason why men are bigger, stronger, faster. We are built to provide and protect. Even before society and social constructs, we provide and protected. There's a reason why women are more caring and loving, because biologically, you guys have the children. So you guys are built to raise kids and have kids. So you are hardwired and created in a way to be nurturing and caring. So that way, when you guys have kids, you'd be able to nurture and care it and raise the kids. So we have different biological differences of what we are, and that still also translates to when it comes to relationships. Men, the reason why men don't want to raise the kids is because we're not built for it. We're not nurturing, caring as women. We prefer to go into the world and conquer the world, because there's a reason why. Perfect example, William Stenfield. There's studies out there that men we like things, and women like people. So that's why STEM fields are dominated by men, and that's why jobs like caring, nursing, and any type of field that's social, that involves people, involves kids. That's why women dominate those industries. It's not because it's the society is telling you to do that. No, it's just because we're different biologically. And the same thing when it comes to relationships. As men, our love language is provide and protect. We want to be the provider protector for our woman. And for women, you guys love. You guys are. That's why we look for women to be nurturing and caring, because we know as a man, we want to be the provider protector, and we want to be a partner. We want to have a partner that they can take care of the kids, and that's why the one thing I would say for a lot of women out there, that's why you can't tell a man like, hey, stay home, especially if it's a very masculine man, very masculine, his masculinity, he's ambitious, he's confident, big and strong. He's not, he would go nuts being at home. He's big, he's strong, he's confident, he's ambitious. You tell him to stay home, you're gonna drive him nuts. But that's why you see a lot of women, they prefer to be housewives. And that's why you see a lot of women who are very successful in their careers, who are very ambitious, but as soon as they get pregnant and they have kids, and you ask them, once they have kids, you ask them, do you want to go back to work? A lot of women that were very ambitious at the beginning, once they have kids, their primitive nature kicks in, their biology kicks in, overrides their mental, their masculine thinking of being successful, because now they're just being a woman. When they have kids finally, they're like, no, I don't want to go back to the work no more. I'd rather just be home with the kids, because it's in your nature, it's biology. So that's my it's not a social construct, or we're not taught to be provider protector. It's innate within us. That's my response to that.
I agree with part of that, but
which part you don't agree?
So I think it's a social construct, because and you can tell it is, because cavemen were everywhere, right? Like no one had technology at one point, and we were all like hunting and gathering. So women were gathering, and women had to have intuition, which is why they're really good caretakers, because they had to have intuition to basically get either poisonous or non-poisonous berries.
Yeah.
But you can tell it's socially constructed based off of cultures, because some cultures like praise women. They they are the god. Like women literally are the god, because they're like, oh my God, the intuition, the caretaking, you are the provider. Women are the providers, because they literally take care of everyone. Like,
yeah, but if you talk about deity, a deity is different from a relationship between man and woman. So we can praise and worship a woman, but when it comes to what we're attracted to, what we want to wife up, it's still going to go back to our biological differences. Right. So of course, it's this female male gods. Yeah, every culture has a female male god. But if we're talking about the dynamics of intersexual relationship between men and women, it's been the same. Masculine men want a feminine woman, nurturing care, and nurturing caring woman wants a masculine man. And the reason why for women, you guys want to provide a protector, because back in the caveman days, it was women knew that in order to survive, you had to align yourself with the strong alpha guy that can 100%. You don't want to align yourself with the weak man, because if you can't 100% protect and provide you, you're going to die. So it's your survival instinct. That's why women today, even throughout thousands of years of evolution, it's still hardwired into you today that women today are still looking for superior men, even though you guys have the same opportunities as men now, even though you guys could get your own money, you can get your own bag, you don't need a man no more. Even though you don't need a man no more, you still want a man that could take care of you. Because it's biology. It's still innate that being a woman is, you're still a woman at the end of the day. You can go out there and be successful, but you're still a woman at the end of the day. Go ahead.
I just want to add one thing to that. And so this is like on the topic of social construct versus biological. So yeah, I agree. Obviously, I mean, women can have kids, men can't. Women's body created for kids. I mean, we produce milk, men don't.
Yeah.
So, but the social construct of it comes with the terms of success, right? A woman's success nowadays is literally the same success as a man, which is how much money she's making, what job she has. A woman's success, no one looks at her and says, oh, she has 8 kids, she's successful. You know, like actually people now look at women and be like, oh, she has 8 kids. Like, I feel bad for her. So that's the problem. When, women are destined to do that and men are destined to do that, but men's job is praised and it's sought after and people are like, wow, like you're doing this, good for you. But women is like, oh, you have to do that. Like, why would you not do that? You know, so I think that's the issue here. And that's why women want the career and they don't want to have kids anymore. And I don't need no man, because that's what's praised. Everyone has like that inner child that just wants to be rewarded. That behavior is rewarded, and staying at home and being a stay-at-home wife is like looked down upon. You know, when a woman actually is successful and she has that first child and she leaves her job, a lot of people look down on it. They're like, oh my God, she could have been something great. But it's like that child is also something great. So I think that's the big issue, is that women are trying so hard to focus on their career because they're not seeing the reward of being just a caretaker, which again leads to everything that we talked to in the back. Masculine energy, looking for someone more successful, blah, blah. Like, I think that's the root cause, is that males get rewarded more for behaviors that they're biologically destined to do.
Yeah. Well, anything to add to what Lena said?
No, that was spot on. I like that.
Yeah. No, it's just I think the thing I would say is just, I think today, because society is just, because we're just so gender neutral now, it's non-binary no more. But at the end of the day, like there's just biological difference between us. You can't compare a man to a woman. You know, it's apples and oranges, and that's the problem with society today. Like, you know, a man is good for success. You know, there's a reason why men are better at success, because we're bigger, stronger. Also, we don't have the liability of having kids, so we can work longer. You know, we don't. As a woman, it's really hard to be successful in the workplace because you have kids, you have 9, then it's gonna slow you down, right? So, so that's something that a lot of women have to think about, especially when they go in the workplace. But for men, like, you know, throughout the years of, I mean, since the beginning of time, we've always been the ones that provide a protector. We've always been the one to build things, to build the infrastructure of the world, to, you know, to create the things that we need. So it's always been like that. So of course, men are going to be, you know, if they're successful, be glorified. And of course, women, and there's no problem with being a successful woman. It's just, for a lot of women today, it's like the biggest thing for a lot of for women is having kids. If you end up being successful and you don't have a family and you don't have kids, you're going to be looked down upon, because as women, you're expected to have kids because that's part of your biology. That's why you were created. So that's why that's why a man, I mean, a man can be successful and don't have kids and don't have a family. Because, like I said, men are not, we don't get pregnant. We're not the ones who have to raise kids. So that's why a man can be successful and doesn't have a kid, doesn't have a family, doesn't have a kid, used to be glorified. But if you're a woman that is successful, you don't have a kid, you don't have a family, you're gonna be looked down upon in society. Like, oh, she's successful, but unfortunately she's not married. Unfortunately, she doesn't have a kid. It's just, there's just differences between us, right? What do you guys think about that?
I don't know. It's just interesting because, like, I feel like I've just missed something because it, like, doesn't make sense to me. Like, I maybe it was the way I was raised, but it just, like, doesn't make sense that.
I'll give you a perfect example. If a guy, like I said, men are built for success. They're supposed to go out there, be ambitious and build something with this life and build value and take care of his woman. That's normal for women, for men. So that's why men are always glorified in their success. That's what he's supposed to do. That's what we're built for. And for women, you're supposed to, like I said, the biological for woman is to be nurturing, caring, and raise the kid and be at home. But I'll give you a perfect example. If a guy chose to be a housewife, right? I mean, he was the best and told you a housewife stay at home. You already know that guy's gonna be what? Out of all the men in the world, they're gonna look down at that guy and say what? If he wants to be a housewife, what are all the men gonna say about him? Think of,
He's a simp.
He's weak. He's feminine.
I don't get that. Like,
right? No, because it's biology. It's biology, right? You're going against your very nature of what we were designed. But like I said, I have no issue with men who choose to be stay home. You want to be a stay home mom and raise the kids and if you want to. Hey, I have nothing problem with that. But the thing is, you're going against biology, so that's why people are gonna look at you a certain way. Same thing with women. I have no problem with you being successful, but the thing is, you have to understand that for most women, you're built to have the kids, and the man's supposed to be the provider, protector. Go do your thing, but just understand you're going against their very nature. So of course you're gonna expect people to react that way. Go ahead.
That was my point. That the raising kids is not seen as success, right? And you're right. So a man can't biologically have kids, so he has to stick with success. A woman can biologically have success. You know what I mean?
You can, yeah.
I think sometimes the expectations of women are higher because she's supposed, naturally, biologically, she's supposed to have the kids, and to be seen as a person in society, she needs to have some sort of success, right? So it's like a two-sided coin. She needs to have a little bit on both sides. Now, males just say, oh, I can't have kids, right? So it's like they kind of get a free pass. If they're just successful, then that's good enough. They're already seen as a person.
Yeah, exactly. Yep.
But the thing is that if they don't have that success and they only have, okay, I'm raising the kids, then you said they're seen as weak, which is my point that career success and financial success is the only success that's rewarded in our society.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, long story short, society just fucked up. Like that's what it is.
No, I don't. Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, it's just the social construct. I think if a man wants to be a housewife, if he has that feminine energy, the same way that there's some females that have the masculine energy, they want the job, then it's perfectly fine for there to be a male with feminine energy that wants to stay home and take care of the kids, And if there wasn't that type of guy, then that's the reason why the females up top are single, Those two people need to match. Those are the people that are meant for each other,
But you know why men don't choose to be housewives?
Because they're judged for it.
No. Because they know no woman will want them. Most women will want a provider, protector. Let me ask you guys. Let me ask you both of you right now. Would you want your man to stay home and you be working 24/7?
I would.
Be honest. That. Be honest. Okay, Lena. What about you, Mika?
I would love that.
Yeah, personally, I find a lot of most of my our arguments they literally come from him not wanting to help me or not being able to clean, because I'm I feel like I do it all, right? I feel like I literally do it all. And so when he offers to clean, I'm like, oh my God, I've never been so attracted to in my entire life. Oh my God, you're actually putting away the dishes. This is the best thing ever. Please do this all the time. If you could literally do that, that would be the best thing. I feel working is easier than taking care of kids. So you
be okay if your guy stayed at home and take care of the kids and you work for the rest of your life, both of you.
Yeah, I mean,
you have the burden of financial to paying all the bills. That's all that rests upon your shoulders, and that's your responsibility for the rest of your life. And he just stays home and takes care of the kids. He has no responsibility towards the finances. You're gonna carry that. You okay with that?
I mean, I feel like it's honestly easier because kids have to all the husband has to do is go and
just, don't forget, you're still gonna have kids, right? You're still gonna have to go into 9 months of labor.
Think about. I mean, this is just me. I could not imagine with kids, or, you know, with my mom. But she would work because she felt like she needed to be independent if anything happened, right? So she was still working. And then she was taking care of us, doing our laundry, cleaning our house, like doing all this. And then my dad would come home and be like, hey, I'm not really hungry right now. I would lose it. I would absolutely lose it. But as a female, I think if you're working, like let's just say you're like Lena, you're an engineer, so you've got that masculine energy, whatever, and you're working, you're making that moolah, and then you come home, I feel like you have that extra appreciation because of that feminine side, because of that nurturing, caring side. They see, like, I would come home from work and I would see that on the table and I'd be like, wow, thank you. You know what I mean? Like, I think working is a lot easier than like having to take care of.
So you would, I mean, it's like if there was a guy, so you'd be okay with the guy staying home and then you work for the rest of your life? You'd be okay with that?
As long as he was like actually contributing to the family, yeah. But if he was like sitting on his butt, then no.
No, like no, he's gonna fulfill the nurturing and caring role. So he's gonna stay home with the kids, you know, fulfill all the house duties, but you're gonna be the one taking care of all the finances, put the financial support. You're gonna be good.
I mean, yeah.
Lena, okay, Lena, you the same way?
Okay, so I have to say something on that. I mean, obviously, I would be okay with it, obviously, because I do work. I mean, I work full time. So if I do have a kid and I know, like, I'd much rather have my husband take care of the kids than hire a nanny or something like that. So obviously, like, I'd be okay with that. If I could continue working and he wanted me to continue working and he wanted to take care of the kids, like, I have no problem with that, obviously. But like you said, but the biological differences, I feel like it would create a lot of arguments, right? Because it would take a long time for him to learn how to do things right. Women have that intuition, right? Like she was saying about the berries, women kind of have that intuition. Me, and I've experienced this myself. I have sisters with kids, less than 1 year old. And it's kind of weird. Like I see this baby crying and I just kind of know like, oh, it needs its diaper changed. Oh, it needs to be fed. Like we kind of know by the way it's crying what it kind of needs. And then I see the kid's father, the way that he acts around it, and it cries. He carries it like it's an alien. He's like, I don't know what this thing wants.
Yeah.
So I think that's the issue. I think like that's kind of the problem, is that they don't really know what to do, and so that leads to the female being frustrated because it's so easy to us. It's like, well,
that's yeah.
And so just change the diaper, just do this. And so I think that's the problem, is that that's what leads to that divide of, okay, well, now the guy feels insecure, he feels like he can't do anything, and the girl feels like she's doing everything because she's working, and then she comes home and then she basically has to teach him everything. But I think like if they could get past that rough patch of, that's probably a couple years, 1, 2, 3 years, and they still keep at it, I think then they get a really sweet zone of, you know, they, although it's not their social norm, but they know their roles now. And if it's equal, I mean, it's perfectly fine if it's completely switched. The woman's working, the guy is doing, it takes care of the kids and knows how to make food, like whatever, like that's perfectly fine. And I think that's, technology has allowed us to realize that that is okay now. Like women can have success without needing biological strength. Sorry. No. I'm an engineer and I don't need to lift anything more than 2 pounds, you know?
Yeah.
So I think now in today's time, it's perfectly normal for it to be switched, just as long as you're willing to work harder for it to work. Did that make sense? I said work a lot in that sentence.
Let me ask you both this question, and be honest. If you have 2 men, right? If you have 2 men, and both of these men are equal, and like this is everything you want for in a man. This is the perfect man. This is the perfect man, right? Everything you want in a man. There's only 2 differences between them. One wants to be a provider protector, and then if you're with this guy, you don't have to work a day in your life. He got you. He's a provider protector. You don't have to work a day in your life. You're taking care of him. He just wants you to be, the one to take care of the kids. The other one is the guy that can take. He's gonna take care of the kids, but you're the one that have to work. You have to work. So that's the 2 options you have. One guy, they're both equal. Everything's equal. One guy is a provider protector. You don't have to worry about bills for the rest of your life. He got that. He's gonna take care of that for you. You just want to stay at home. Or the other guy, where you have to, he's gonna stay home, but then you have to go out there and figure out how to take care of the finances, how I want to ask you guys to be honest. Which guy do you pick?
I say for me again, and it's because of my career. Um, especially in our culture.
Go ahead.
Sure. In our culture and Arab culture in general, it's very, very common for women to get married straight out of high school. It's like high school is like the set stone, and then like you start looking for a guy, and it's like you get set up with some guy that's a doctor somewhere. You don't even know who he is, but you know he has money. Like that's, I mean, I hate it, but it's really, really common in our culture. And it's like by the time you're like 22, 23, you're like old and expired. And then even I remember I'm continuing school, so I'm doing my PhD now. And I remember when I told some of my cousins that, they were like, how are you going to find a husband?
Yeah.
And so I think that your question speaks directly to me, is that I'd much rather be a provider if I get to have my education and the job that I want. Like if a guy wants to cook and clean,
so the guy that's the private protector, you can go to school as long as you can figure out how to take care of the babies. So you can still do online classes, you can still get your degree, but all he wants is just, he doesn't want the responsibility of raising the kids. He just wants you at home. But if you want to go to school, go and take online classes, get your degree, be an engineer. But as long as he doesn't have to fulfill the raising the kids, he can do that. But you can you can still do all that stuff. But as long as you take care of the kids, would you still pick that guy?
No, I have my oldest sister kind of went that path. She got married at 19. And I mean, she still finished she had kids like right away. She had her first kid at 20. She has 4 kids now and a kid on the way. She's 30 years old now. So she lived that role. And he's a doctor. He told her, you know, I will pay for your school. I'll pay for everything, do everything online, do whatever you want. And I feel like she has a little bit missing. You know, sometimes she says, I wish I finished school first before I had kids. And so I kind of seen that firsthand. But she's more than happy in her life. She loves her life. But obviously there's always like that, what if? And so I think since I've seen that, I personally, that's not the life that I would want. I'm more logical, like Anika said before. I value like that education and learning, especially because my mom never got the opportunity to go to college. So I value that much more than, and this sounds so messed up to say, but I value that more than a child right now in my life. At this point in my life, I value that education and that job more than having a kid.
Do you want to have kids and a husband one day?
I really want to adopt. I really don't want to have my own kids because I'm so scared of having kids.
What about husband?
A husband, I mean, I would highly not, wait, I don't know how to say this. English is not working. I would not like to raise a kid without a husband.
So you do want a husband one day.
So I definitely would like a partner, a husband, to help me raise a kid. Would not want to raise a kid on my own.
Oh, but you do want kids, right? You do want to have your own kids.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I really do enjoy kids, but I mean, obviously it's so much responsibility, and as someone that already has a job, it's scary because, like I said, you do see the women that have such a good position get pregnant, and suddenly they can't hold it together, and so they have to go with what society tells them they're meant for, raising kids, and they lose that position. So I mean, obviously I'm only 22, so it might be a maturity thing. Maybe when I'm 25, 26, 27, I'm going to be like, oh yeah, kids are cool. You know, this job doesn't mean anything. But right now where I'm in life, I'd much rather keep my career.
No, the reason why I asked that question, because like I mentioned before, like, you know, there's a difference between men and women, what we're built for. One of the harshest things I've seen, especially in today's era, where there's a lot of women today between the age of 30 and 45 are single, never been married, never had children, and they're very career oriented, they're very ambitious. You know, they're on a high income. A lot of women today are miserable because they've worked their whole life to be successful, and because of the sacrifices they made to become successful, to become masculine, become independent, and the sacrifice and time they had to invest into career, they weren't be able to attract a man, and they weren't able to have kids, and now they're older now. And now like I said, because they're older, most guys, you guys know, most guys like to date younger girls. A lot of them are unhappy because, and that's one of the things I always tell a lot of women is like, be successful. But I would tell women, like, men don't derive happiness from children and families than women do. And women don't derive happiness from success that men do. We're just biologically different. Like when you guys have kids, of course, am I gonna be happy that we have a kid? Of course, but there's a different type of happiness women feel when they have kids and when they start a family than men. And then the same thing with men. Like, I don't mind staying at home. I don't mind, watching the kids here and there and babysitting and raising my kids. But I find more joy going out there to the world and conquering shit and finding working towards my goals and dreams and be successful. It just comes from our different biological differences. So, and that's one thing I've seen. There's a whole demographic of women right now that were career oriented, like just like Lena. Society's telling them, hey, don't worry about the family and the kids, go do your thing, and they did it. But then now they're like 30, 35, 40, and they don't have a kid in the family, and then they're looking back like, wow, I have all this success, but because like I said, as women, there's a yearning for you for your own child, for our family. And for men, like we can just go be alone and work towards success 20, 30 years and don't be around people. Like you see in the people in the STEM fields, their social skills, like, it's terrible. They just in their cubicle working, like they don't want no interaction. That's how men are built. Like, we're not meant for social. Like, we just like to focus, do what we do, so like we can have no kids and we don't have to have a family, and we can still find a way to live our life with that. But for women, it's really the opposite. If you guys go towards success and you don't have a family and child, and that's the narrative I just noticed society pushing women today. And the one that I would say women is like, if you do meet that guy, that dream guy, if you do meet a good guy out there, don't put him to the side for your career, because there's a lot of women today that shows that they did that, and then now they're like, now they're trying to freeze their eggs, now they're trying to look for a man. But it's like, but the problem with that is, especially when it comes to the dating market, the type of men they're looking for, they're always looking for the younger women. That's what I would say with that. That's just Anika, anything you want to say?
I actually have a question.
Go ahead. Yep, you have a question?
Yeah, how old are you?
I'm 30.
So it might be a generational thing, because I can't like fathom. Okay, so a perfect example is like when the pandemic happened, and like, no one has to work. No one has to work. We're just gonna give you money. You didn't see any men going out there being like, no, but I want to provide for my family. It was like, cool, I got money. I'm gonna sit, chill, maybe help take care of the kids. Maybe I'll go to the gym. Like, they didn't feel this need, this like biological need to provide, when the government said, hey, we'll just give you money. Don't even worry about it. Don't sweat it.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
So how did you feel being, I guess you would be, because we're Gen Z, I guess you would be a millennial.
Yeah.
So being a millennial, what was going through your head when you were like, when they said, hey, unemployment, you got it, we'll give you money? Did you feel this need to go out and provide or work or anything?
Oh, I didn't take it. I didn't take nothing. I didn't take no money. Never. I mean, that's just me personally. Like, I'm always being the type of person to go do things on my own and rely on myself. So yeah, I never took any kind of financial assistance from the government.
That's good, because most people did.
Well, the thing is, even if those guys that did take it, right, it's just because why would they go work when the government is giving you money? The whole purpose of providing and protecting is to find income. So if the government is giving you money to replace that lost income that we would have got if you went to work, it just makes sense to take it. It's there. But if that income stops, then what happens? And you will have to go back and go to work and figure it out. So I mean, yeah, I mean, just because like the government gave them money doesn't mean like, and the man doesn't want to provide or protect. No, it's just because why would you go to work and then with the government's going to give you the money and he's going to take care of your living and your finances? But people knew that eventually it's going to stop. So like if that stops and the money doesn't come in, then the man is going to go back in that biology, the provider protector is going to kick in, and you're going to have to go out there and make sure you take care of your family. You can't just leave your family back home and have no money, have no food. I don't know if that makes sense.
Kind of.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, because I had friends like that. Like when the pandemic hit, they were both working. They got laid off. They were looking for a job, but as soon as the government gave them that financial assistance, they're like, "Oh, we'll be good." and they did, and they took advantage of it. You know, it is free money. Like, why wouldn't you take it? If the government is willing to give out, shoot, take it. It's free money, but everybody knew that it's not long term. It's only short term, and then it's gonna stop coming, and they have to go back and go to work. And then my friends that when it did stop coming, when it did stop, when the financial assistance did stop coming in, then the first person that was expected to go to work was not the one, not the woman. It was the guy. The guy was like, the girl was like, "Hey, time for you to go get a job," and he was more than willing to do so. So, all right, yeah, I'm gonna go back to work. Yeah. So I don't think it's a generational thing. I just like biology doesn't, biology is biology. It doesn't matter what generation you come from. All right. But yeah, let's revert. I know that was that took us a while to answer that one question. We just went all over various subjects. But that was a good combos. That was actually a good conversation. So but we'll turn it to you, ladies. What are your questions? And give us the questions that you guys have for us. I'll start with you, Anika. Like, what's your question?
Well, a lot of my questions were answered through Lena and her responses. So I guess.
What was it? What was the question?
Well, it was first her relationship and like being long term, and eventually like what ended it. So that was one. And then like I guess a follow up of just like what you'd said was like, why do you assume that women absolutely want to be, and this is where I think it's generational, like why do you assume that women want to take care of things? Because again, the pandemic happened and I loved being taken care of. It felt nice. Like it felt nice for my boyfriend to cook for me. It wasn't like, let me do it. Like I didn't feel that instinct to like want to cook. I was like, if he's going to do it, I'm going to sit back and relax and let him do everything for me. Like, as far as like, since I'm doing all of this for so long, right? Like, I didn't feel this instinct. So why do you assume that women want to be like the nurturers? Just because of biology?
Well, first, number one is the biggest thing is biology. Like women, like you're more nurturing and caring. There's biological differences between us. Women are more you guys, can we all agree women are more emotional than men?
Yeah.
Right. It's just the way you guys are built. You guys are built to have like the reason why women are more nurturing, caring, more emotional. You guys have that intuition you guys were talking about. It's just more social. It's just you guys were built for raising children. It's just that's why you guys are. Plus, you guys are pregnant. You guys are the ones getting pregnant. So that's why you were designed for. Outside of social constructs and what society expects out of you. I'm just talking about like just very primitive level, basic level. It's just you were created to have kids, and by having kids, that's why you guys are more nurturing, caring, more emotional as women. It doesn't matter what city, what country you're from. It's the same. And for men, and that's why for women, like I said, you're more comfortable. Like there's millions of women out there that are more comfortable. There's a reason why a majority of women are comfortable housewives, and that's why you don't see. That's why you don't see a lot of. It's very rare to see a guy that's a housewife. That's a housewife. It's not because of choice. It's not because of choice. It's not because of societal social construct. It's just biologically we're made different, and based on how we are made biologically, it comes to the type of choices we make in life. So that's why STEM fields is a perfect example. Like I think Lena said, there's a reason why guys choose to go into STEM fields. It's just because we're more focused on things. There's a reason why women choose to go into social work, nurses, caring, all those type of jobs that involves people. It's not because society is telling these women, hey, you don't, because all those women going to social jobs, they have the same opportunity to go to STEM fields, but they choose not to go to STEM fields. So it's the same thing when it comes to relationships. Like women care about nurturing, caring. There's a lot of women. There are a lot of women out there that want to be successful. They want to make six figures. Yes, but if you look at the percentages, it's only 10% of men and women making six figures, 10 to 20%, and everybody else is making under that. So most women just, if you ask a lot of, and also the women on my podcast, we talk to them all the time. Like, would you prefer to have a guy that can take care of you, and you don't have to work. You can just stay home and take care of the kids. And also, I told you guys the example. Even the ambitious women, right? The women who are dominating at work, they're killing it at work. As soon as they have a baby, they don't want to go back to work no more, and they gave up their career to stay at home because it's natural. You're built for that. So that's why I believe. That's why I say is like women. It's natural for you to be nurturing, caring, because that's your natural role of why you were created to do. And women, that's why men are more natural in the role provider protector. Are there exceptions? Yes, there's a lot of men out there that I'm sure there's men out there that want to stay at home and cook and like your boyfriend is take home and take care of your kid. There's a lot of men out there, and there's a lot of women out there like Lena, like going out there in STEM fields, even though it's very difficult, very competitive, but they choose to go in there. That's fine. But the majority of women prefer to stay home, be nurturing, caring, and the majority of guys don't want to stay home. They want to be the provider, protector. It's just biology.
Yeah,
Go ahead.
and just a quick add on that
Go ahead.
about what she was talking about. So, I mean, I completely agree. I mean, if I were to come home and there's someone to provide for me, someone to cook, clean, I'm gonna also be like, no, do your thing. And I think that's a what's the word, like a misdefinition, like a wrong definition of nurturing. And I think a lot of people don't understand that cooking and cleaning and maid type chores and whatever, that's not nurturing. That's not nurturing at all. That's literally being a maid. Like that's housework, you know? A woman can have all these kids and hire someone to cook and clean for her, and she's still feminine, you know? Like
a rich woman.
Yeah, like a guy, there's some guys that like enjoy chefs, bro. If cooking was like nurturing, then the top chefs would be female, you know? But most of the top chefs are male. Like cooking and cleaning are not specifically female things. So I think that's where people get it messed up. Nurturing, cooking and cleaning are not nurturing things. But when it comes to like, for example, like when we're sick, we never ever asked for anything, and it's like we don't want to be a hassle, right? And you have a guy asking you, what do you want me to do for you? What do you want me to do for you? And that's like so frustrating for us, because it's like, you know what, like I'm never going to ask you for anything. Yeah. Right? That's our nurturing side. But on the other side, when, like, for example, when my man was sick, I just showed up at his door with Tylenol, Gatorade, like icy hots, his favorite food, a blanket, you know, I just showed up with that stuff. He threw up, and I was there to clean it up, you know, like no questions asked. And like, that's what nurturing is. So I think, one sec, but yeah, it's cut short. I have someone at my door. But
yeah. Go ahead. Yeah, go answer it and we'll come back. No, yeah, so just to go off of what Lena said, like the cooking and cleaning is just a necessary skill set that comes from your role. Like for women, when you guys have kids, right, and you raise the kids, you stay home, right? So you stay home, and then of course the kids get hungry. What do? You cook. Oh, okay. So you cook, right? So it's just that's why a lot of women cook and clean, because when you stay home at the house, like that's part of the necessary skills that you have to do to take care of the children, is to clean the house and cook for the kids. So it's yeah, so that's why majority of women. I'm not saying that a man can't cook and clean. I can cook and clean. I mean, I love to cook and clean. I'm very sometimes what's that word? Obsessive compulsive sometimes when it comes to cleaning. Yeah, I like to do that. But then the thing is, like, I prefer, like I said, I like to go out there and be successful. So if I'm with a woman and she's at home, you know, I would appreciate it if I'm out there working, to come home to a nice house, clean house, to come home to a nice home cooked meal ish. She's at home, you know. And the same thing for you. Like if you and Nico if you're the provider protector, and you go out there and work, I'm sure you expect I'm sure you expect to come to a house that's, if your man's gonna stay at home all day, I'm sure it's common sense. You expect him to, like, if you're gonna be home all day, you should cook and clean, you know. Yeah. I don't know. I forgot what the question was from Lena.
Okay.
Go ahead, Lena. Go ahead. Yeah. Continue.
Yeah. So basically what I was saying. So yeah, females are nurturing, but I think it's about time that the cooking and cleaning are split up, and it's not seen as just the woman's job. you know?
But you know what?
Because
But you know why the men expect a woman to cook and clean?
because they've been working all day.
Yeah.
But
If
the woman has been working all day too. Like she's been doing her role all day.
I know that I know you. I'm not saying that. I'm not saying that your job is harder than the man's, because I know, you know, being a full-time mom is a full-time job. It's a lot of work. But you have to understand that, like, if you're gonna stay at home, you know, for them it's like, if you're gonna be at home all day taking care of the kids, you know, it'd be natural for you. There'd be an expectancy for you to cook and clean, because since you're already at home, he's not at home. He's working all day.
Yeah, but I think, I don't know, maybe like growing up and seeing, especially like with older people in my culture, for example, if a guy's working all day and he comes home and there's not food ready on the table,
Yeah.
he suddenly has like a right to be upset. But say a guy doesn't feel good and he doesn't go to work, a woman would be crazy to be upset at that. You know?
Well, as long as he's making money. I mean, if you get sick, but the money's still coming in though. So he's still, as long as if he's taking sick, if he stops working and the job doesn't come, if the money doesn't come in, then it'd be natural for you to be upset.
I'm saying there's a fridge full of food, so there's still food. She just didn't make something hot that day, you know? So but he's still entitled to get upset at that.
Well,
That's just
but what did that go to communication? Like, you know, if you're my wife and then you don't want to cook, just text me. Hey, honey, I don't want to cook. It's okay.
Yeah,
right? It's okay. We'll go eat out. Order some food.
And that's just the culture thing that I've noticed in my culture. Yeah. And I 1,000%, I could go on and on about the lack of communication in my culture.
Yeah.
So.
I mean, if a guy's working all day, like, he's hungry, right? He wants to come home to eat, and then if you come home to eat and then there's no food at all, and you haven't, like, if you didn't want to cook, you haven't done any kind of necessary plans or heads up to tell him, hey, you should grab some food on the way because I'm not cooking tonight. But he just comes home and there's no food at all. Of course, naturally, like, he's gonna be upset. Especially the same thing with them. Like, if he doesn't work and the money is not come in, I'm sure like a lot of wives are like, hey, like, you know, you're not working, money's not coming in. Like, what's happening? You know, what's going on, right? So it's just, but yeah. I mean, that's why, like, for a lot, like, I'm not saying, like, you know, cooking, cleaning is what a woman should do, but it's just like, because of our roles, because of what differences of who we are. If you're gonna be, for men, like, you know, the way they say it is, if they're working it all day and they want to come home to a nice home meal, and we all day at home, it's just like, they're like, hey, like, cook and clean. You know, he just expects it to be because you're at home all day.
I just think my opinion is that it should be more shared than the social norm, because I see a lot of guys that, you know, barely even know how to, like, turn on a dishwasher or a washing machine. They start to rely on the female for these things. I'm just saying that, like, the cooking, the cleaning, I mean, something as small as like ironing, clothes and stuff like that should not just be on the woman. I think they should be shared roles. You know, if the husband does come home earlier, if he wants something specific for dinner, you know, he should go out of his way to prepare it for the family. I think it's perfectly fine for those roles to just be more shared. I think there are partnership roles. Instead, like, he can do his own laundry. Like, it could be 2 separate baskets. Like, maybe he likes his things washed a specific way. Like, that, I think that's what I was trying to get more at, that it shouldn't just be a feminine role. It's more of a partnership when it comes to those types of things.
All right. Anika, do you have anything to say? I'm about to respond to you, but I want to give Anika a chance to have something to respond back to Lena. But go ahead, Anika, do you have anything to say to that?
Yeah, I 100% agree.
Okay. All right. So see this, and this is because I've heard a lot of women say that the partnership thing, right? And I always tell a lot of women, like, that partnership thing that only exists. That's a modern day. That's something you always see in America, like the partnership thing. The thing is, like, in reality, when it comes to men and women, because we're built differently, there's just certain things that men just don't want to do. Can we do it? Yes, we can do it, but do we prefer not to? Like, I don't like cooking, cleaning, washing dishes. I can do all those things, but I don't want to do that as a man because I'm just.
Either.
Huh?
The girls
What?
don't want to do
No,
it
but
either.
no. I'm saying you guys don't want to do it. There's a lot of girls out there that they love being a housewife. They're very feminine. They love cooking. They love cleaning. And that's just they're born for, like, they just love it because it's just innate with them. That's what I'm saying is there's certain things in life because of our biology that we just don't. Can we do them? Of course, can we do them? But it's just we don't want to do it. Like, if for me, I don't want to cook. I don't want to. I can cook. I can clean. I can do my own laundry. I can take care of myself. But when it comes to my success, that's what I want to focus on. Those things I don't want to do. But the thing is, the feminine women out there, there's a lot of the women who are feminine, the women who are natural in their biology and their role to be the nurturers and carers. They love that stuff. They love to cook. They love to clean. They love to do laundry. They love to do all that stuff. So for me, it's natural for me to be attracted to them because, like, what they bring into the relationship is all the things that I don't like to do, but she complements that. Also, she's very feminine, and of course, those feminine women that love to cook and clean, they don't like to work. They don't like to go out there and go to the world and deal with the competition and things of trying to build your to be financially stable. So that's why those type of women who are feminine, who are natural in their role to be housewives, they love those men who are natural providers and protectors. And when those two meet, it just works out so beautifully because what I look for, you take care of that, and then what she needs from me as a private protector, I take care of that, and then I got my role, you got your role, and it just works out beautifully. I can go to work and come home to a nice cook home meal because she's willing to do it, and she doesn't have to work because she knows that I like to do that. I like to work and pay the bills, and she doesn't have to worry about the bills. And it just works out naturally because we're just naturally in our role. But the thing is about the 50-50 partnership thing. I'm telling you, Ryan, let me ask you guys, have you guys met, well, I'm not you're in a relationship, but Lena, have you met a guy that you told him about the 50-50 partnership and he worked out long term?
Yeah. So
how long?
So it was the relationship I had previous to this last one. It was honestly one of the most perfect experiences I've ever had. Yeah. We were both engineers. Mm-hmm. We were both working on a postgraduate degree. Mm-hmm. I mean, the branch of engineering was different. I was mechanical. He was electrical/computer. But it was literally a partnership. He cooked more than me. He was way more clean than me. I mean, so it was a thing that it was like he picked up his mess, I picked up my mess. We sit down to eat. He picks up his plate, I pick up my plate. Mm-hmm. I mean, whoever makes it to the sink second can wash all the dishes. I mean, it's as simple as like just rinsing your plate, putting it in the dishwasher, And it was truly a partnership. And I never asked for anything. It was just, we were on that same frequency. We were on that same vibe. We understood each other like that, Okay, I put the clothes in the washer and the dryer. He takes them out to fold them. Mm-hmm. Okay, he folded them. You know what? In the morning, I can iron his clothes for him. Like, whoever woke up first made coffee. Like, it's things like that. That's what I mean by like 50-50 partnership. I mean, we did not work out due to religious beliefs. We had different religious beliefs, so it wouldn't have worked out long term. And then we separated, and it was like the most healthy and respectful separation too. So like, okay, I've experienced that. I mean, maybe that's like a 1 in 10 million, but I mean,
I'm not saying I've never met somebody that had the 50-50 partnership and worked
so
out.
I don't know, maybe it was 1 in 10 million. Maybe I was crazy for letting it go, but I mean, we're still really good friends now, and he's someone that I can still go to when I'm having relationship issues. And he's like, and like when we were together, like we did this and this, like why can't you do that with this person? And I'm like, I know, right? So I don't know. I haven't had many relationships, so yeah, it doesn't seem rare to me, but maybe I did get someone rare.
What I want to, because right now in America, like the average marriage lasts about 7 years. It's like that's the divorce rate over 50%. The average marriage in the U.S. lasts over 7 years. So I'm telling you guys right now, if you look at, do you know couples right now that been married for over 20 years?
My parents.
All right, are your parents traditional? Man is the man, woman is the woman. She stays home and cooks, and he's the one that works.
So if you want to know more about my parents, very general, they also have a really good partnership, but it's partnership plus some traditional. So my dad opened up a store when my parents immigrated to America. My dad opened up a shop, half grocery store, half restaurant. So my dad and mom would drive together to the store. My mom was the cook. She was the chef at the restaurant. And he was the person doing the business side, the finances, stocking the groceries and stuff like that. So it was a very good partnership. But then
who did the majority of the cooking?
In the restaurant, it was all my mom. My mom did all the cooking, but she was in the kitchen the whole time. My dad was the one. And then as we grew older, we became like the cashiers and stuff like that. But my dad was the one making orders for the grocery store, the manager, you know, the big man, the big boss, the tough guy. When I couldn't tell customers no, I would call him. Basically.
Oh, so in their relationship, it's very gendered. Like he's the one taking care of the finances, and then the mom was the one that cooking, the cleaning.
But yeah, I mean, but they had that partnership. I mean, she was still out there helping him. But then I do realize the things that you're talking about, like in the home, like so they worked together. They would go together and come back together, right? So they spent the same time out. Yeah. But coming home, she was still expected to cook and to clean it, to do the laundry.
And she did it, right?
And yeah. And she did do that, but
that's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
that's what I'm saying is like I'm telling you. And also, Nika, do you know any couples that are over 20 years?
Yeah,
married over.
My parents just celebrated their 30 years, and my dad is a housewife.
He's a housewife.
My dad cooks, cleans, does our laundry, cleans our rooms, or cleaned our rooms.
Primary provider.
What's up?
Your mom is the primary financial provider.
My mom for a while, during the housing crash of 2008, my mom provided for quite a long time.
Okay.
Since my dad
who's been like the primary financial provider like their whole marriage? Was mom or your dad?
They honestly, it's pretty 50-50 because they both worked at Home Depot for like 20 years, and then my dad started his own real estate business and my mom helped him. And then he started his like car company.
Okay.
My mom helped him make car covers. Like they did it together. So
who was like the primary like cooker and like, but out of all, I mean, comparing
my dad. My mom doesn't cook. She like makes cereal for herself. That's about it.
Okay. So he's the one that's been cooking ever since you guys were kids.
Yeah.
Cooking, and then the mom doesn't cook.
Mm-mm.
What about cleaning? Does she clean or did dad clean?
My dad.
Oh, okay. All right.
I think that's why I believe the way I do.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Well, that's what I'm saying. Well, that's the exception, but I'm just saying for majority of if you look at the majority of people married over 20 years, it's gender. It's like the woman's natural in her role as being a woman, the guy's natural role being a woman. They understand their roles and they love each other. They make it work. Of course, they can help each other. Like, doesn't mean like if that's what love is. If a woman needs a break, he can help out the cooking. But majority of the couples that you see married over 20 years and for long term, it's just both the man's the man, the woman, and they both willingly accept their role and they just work out. It's just you rarely see couples like Anika's parents. Like you rarely see that. They're married over 20 years. I'm not talking about 7 years. I'm talking about like a long-term marriage forever. If you look at the couples that have been married for a long, it's very traditional. The man is the man. He provides and protects. The woman stays at home, cooks and cleans, and they work each other out. They have, they do help each other out, but both of them to understand their roles. It's just today is like just in modern society. I've noticed it just talking to people. That partnership is just the problem with this is like depending on who you want to attract. But I know a lot of women when you ask them like, what kind of guy do you want? They always want the very masculine man to provide a protector. He's smart, he's ambitious, he's strong, he's confident. But the thing is, like, in order to be strong in certain qualities, he's gonna take away from certain qualities. Like in order to be that big, strong, ambitious, confident man, because you're putting all your energy, he's not gonna be focused on cooking and cleaning, even though he can. But the thing is, for a woman that's very feminine, that's nurturing and caring, because she loves to do that stuff, so naturally she's gonna be really, really good at cooking and cleaning because that's what she likes to do. And then of course the masculine energy and the feminine energy, the masculine guy is gonna be attracted to the feminine woman, and the feminine woman is gonna be attracted to that masculine guy. I've just never, besides Anika's example, that's the first time I've ever heard the partnership ever work. But every single time I meet people, every time I've met the partnership is equally shared, it never lasts. It's like it was cool in the beginning, but then after a while they left, or they got married, and then 7 years later, with the average divorce rate is 7 years, they left. It's just it never works out long term. But the relationships that do work out long term, it's just it's when both parties just accept their roles as men and women, and it just works out. But that's just my my thoughts my thoughts on that. So yes, I know that was Anika's question. Was it Anika's question or was that Lily's question? Nika's question. Cool. But yeah, ladies, we've come to the end of we got 10 minutes left in the end of the podcast. We come to the conclusion. So yeah, we had some great conversations today from both of you guys. It's very interesting from both of you guys. So let me ask you guys, both ladies. I always ask this both the guests, all my guests on my show is, what did you guys take away from the podcast? And what was your thoughts about our conversations tonight? I'm just interested to hear from that. So I'll start with you, Lena. What was your takeaway from tonight's podcast, and what was your thoughts on our overall conversation?
I mean, I feel like I definitely learned more on the male perspective. I mean, speaking on my most previous relationship and like the specifics on it, how I saw something as more logical and he saw things as more emotional. I feel like I owe an apology, maybe. I don't know, but we'll see where that goes. So I don't know. Just I feel like I got a lot of insight on the male perspective. Something that, I mean, I thought I had more of a male perspective, but I guess I didn't.
Okay, no worries. And last but not least, Anika, what was your overall thoughts about the whole podcast and what we talked about tonight?
I guess I realized that like Lena and I are definitely more of like an anomaly, and that a lot of girls or a lot of females want to be taken care of. They want to be housewives. So like as a generalization, I guess men do look for that. And so when you got a good guy who respects your masculine energy as a female, then you should probably just hold on to that. Because most guys don't want that or aren't looking for that.
Speaking of anomalies, like are you guys are your majority of your friends like you guys, or majority of your friends like prefer the guy to just take care of them?
A lot of my friends are like me.
Like you? Okay. What about you, Lena? Your friends? Like especially you Palestinians, so like Palestinian girls, like do they prefer to be like you, or do they prefer to be the man take care of them?
So I think preference, I'm not too sure. I mean, a lot of them are just taken care of. Like I said, just married straight out of high school. So I think most of the people that I've met and got married, like most of my friends are married now, they're being taken care of. Whether that's their preference, I don't really know, because most of my friends that I'm closer with are actually male. Again, career and stuff like that. So I can say that most of them went that route though. Okay,
no worries. Yeah. And thank you so much for everybody tuning in. Please drop a comment below. Let me know what your thoughts are. It was very it was good. It was good. I like everything you guys just said tonight. Honestly, a lot of the things we talked about tonight, I haven't talked about in my other podcast. So especially when it comes to social constructs, I know that was good. that was really good. But ladies, thank you so much for jumping in. Thank you much for tuning in for you guys. I'll make sure everybody out here that wants to follow these ladies, I'll definitely have their social media infos below on the video, so you definitely follow them. They're doing great things. I know if you're into health, if you're into fitness, definitely give a follow to Anika. I guess you're a coach, right? Anika, you're a coach?
Yeah, I am.
Yeah. She's a coach, so yeah, if you support me, definitely support her, and also support Lena. I know she has TikTok. That's where I found her. I found her on TikTok. I love your TikTok content. Your TikTok content is very interesting. So definitely follow Lena. I have their social media info, so definitely support them every day too as well. But thank you for joining us tonight, and definitely see you guys next Saturday. I'm gonna go off and turn off the live, and I'm gonna talk to you guys right after. Give me 1 second. Let me just turn off the live.